Welcome students to this second video or in third unit. Today we are going to discuss about the various approaches to job design. Basically there are three approaches to job design: engineering approach, human approach, job characteristics approach. Engineering approach is a calculated and scientific approach to design a job. Human approach is considering human factors, environmental factors which affect human beings to perform, like motivation, the behavioral aspects, and also the leadership qualities, the team building qualities. All these are nothing but the behavioral thing which is to be considered, and job is designed. And the last one is job characteristics approach. It is nothing but the based on the job characteristics model. It depends on the five things as you already studied in the previous unit. Job characteristic model depends on skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback. So, thus, job characteristic approach is depending on these five basic characteristics. So, there are various logical benefits of industrial engineering. A focus on efficiency alone can create jobs that are so simple and repetitive that workers get bored. Workers performing these jobs may feel their work is meaningless, as most organizations combine industrial engineering with other approaches to job design. So, job design will look very time consuming and boring for the workers, so they will be up the concept is approached using any of these approaches so that the workers get interested. Okay, so going these are the three approaches to job design. Going further, what are the techniques of job design? When you look at the definition of job design, as I told you, it is nothing but whatever task and responsibilities are there, those have to be actually listed down. Okay, so there are basically four techniques which are largely used in job design. Okay, here let us understand each one of them. uh, First one is job simplification. A job is simplified or specialized. The job is broken down into smaller parts, and each part is assigned to an individual. Work simplification is mechanical pacing of work, repetitive work processes, working only on one part of a product, predetermining tools and techniques, restricting interaction amongst employees, few skills requirements, etc. Work simplification can be used when jobs are not specialized. The second technique is job rotation. It means systematically moving workers from one job to another. When the job incumbent become bored with routine jobs, job rotation is an answer to it. Here jobs remain unchanged, but the incumbents shift from one job to another. It increases the intrinsic reward potential of a job because of the different skill and abilities needed to perform it. Workers become more competent in several jobs, know a variety of jobs, and improves the self image and personal growth. The worker becomes more valuable to the organization. And the other side, it may not be much enthusiastic or maybe not that efficient. Jobs may not improve the relationship, but objectives remains unchanged. But there could be training cost also, which could be increasing, and also it can lead to demotivation of intelligent and ambitious trainees who seek specific responsibilities in their chosen specialities. This is about job rotation. Next one is job enrichment. It is the improvisation of both task and human satisfaction by building into people's jobs quite specifically greater scope for personal achievement and recognition, more challenging and responsible work, and more opportunity for individual advancement and growth. An enriched job will have more responsibility, more autonomy, and more variety of tasks and more growth opportunities. There are two types of job enrichment: vertical enrichment and horizontal enrichment, which gives way to variety of tasks and more growth opportunities. The employees does more planning and controlling with less supervision but more self-evaluation. Then the last fourth one is job enlargement. It means assigning workers additional same level of activities. That is horizontal loading of job. Job enlargement changes the jobs to include more or difficult tasks. It means expanding the number of tasks or duties assigned to a given job. Job, job enlargement is naturally opposite to work specification. Job enlargement is naturally opposite to work simplification. Adding more tasks or duties to a job does not mean that new skills and abilities are needed. There is only horizontal expansion. It is with the same skills taking additional responsibilities like extending working hours, etc. Job enlargement may involve breaking up the existing work system and designing a new work systems. So therefore job design has been using these techniques: job rotation, job simplification, job enrichment, and job enlargement. So now let us go to the next thing, that what are the factors that affect job design. Physical factors, ergonomics, mental factors, and human factors. So these are the factors that affect job design. What are physical factors? Balancing the static and dynamic tasks. Okay, it's balancing static means which are stationary, which has to be done every time in the same way. Dynamic are changing, okay, depending on the situation. Designing rest breaks, how many breaks to be given to the employee or the worker in the job. Okay, and then providing task variety and job enlargement to avoid excessive static body positions and repetitive movements. Same position, if a human body stands, he may get exhausted. The body might get exhausted soon. Repetitive movement should be reduced by giving variety and job enlargement. Coordinating tasks to balance workload for the individual and the team. Okay, the workload of the individual should be balanced by giving same type of task to different people in the same team. Providing allowance for adjustment periods for new employees and for employees returning from vacations or extended leaves to get in shape. Giving allowances is also a type of is a factor which affects job design. Maybe giving vacations or extended leaves or some adjustment allowances for new employees. These are few ways how the which actually affect the physical factors. Designing work pattern and process to ensure safety of employee. Designing the workflow process, maybe in the form of a flow chart. Okay, so with this, the safety of the employee can be ensured, and also the process can be followed meticulously by the workers. So these are all the physical factors that affect job design. Going further, ergonomics. What is ergonomics? Job design ergonomics concentrates on optimizing the workstation and tools and ensuring that the worker remains aligned with the work process in the best possible way. It The objective is to eliminate awkward body position and ensuring minimal strain or musculoskeletal injury. Consideration of human factors also emphasizes designs that reduces the potential for human error. So any kind of physical strain should be avoided. It is aimed at designing jobs in such a way that the physical abilities and individual traits of employees are taken into consideration to ensure efficiency and productivity. And next one is mental factors. A good job design strives to incorporate human factors guidelines by allowing the worker to vary activities according to personal needs, work habits, and specific workplace circumstances. For instance, the job design may allow workers some degree of choice of time to do mental tasks, allowing them to perform such tasks during their best state of alertness. So for they have to fulfill the work personal needs, work habits, and special workplace circumstances. Next one is human factors. The human factor is the science of understanding human capability and the application of the same to the design, development, and deployment of systems and services. Incorporation of human factors in job design raises workers' self esteem and produces feelings of achievement and self esteem, and also contributes greatly to eliminating stress among workers in the workplace. This in turn reduces employee related problems such as grievances and absenteeism and increase this job satisfaction, leading to better efficiency and productivity. The examples are autonomy, diversity, feedback, and all. Employees should work in an open environment rather than that contains fear. It should promote creativity, independence leads to increased efficiency. Feedback should be also an integral part of the work. Repetitive jobs often make work monotonous, so it may lead to boredom. So a job should carry sufficient diversity and variety. Job should be an employee rather than a process centered. Though due emphasis needs to be given to the latter, but job should be designed in a manner such that an employee can make full use of his abilities and perform the job effectively. So these are few factors which affect job design. And there are few benefits of job design like it a good job design enables good job feedback. Employee training. Training is an integral part of job design. And job design offers good work and rest schedule by clearly defining the number of hours an individual has to spend in his or her job. A good job design also allows for adjustment for physical demanding jobs by minimizing the energy spent doing the job. Job design is a continuous and ever-evolving process that is aimed at helping employees make adjustment with the changes in the workplace. The end goal is to reduce dissatisfaction, enhance motivation, and employee engagement at workplace. So, thus, this is all about job design. Going further, the next topic which is very important is job evaluation, which is part of job analysis. So, what is job evaluation? It is a systematic way of determining the value of a job in relation to other jobs in the organization. It tries to make a systematic comparison between jobs to assess their relative worth for the purpose of establishing a rational pay structure. Job evaluation is the process of analyzing and assessing various jobs systematically to ascertain the relative worth in an organization. So it is nothing but to find out the relative worth of the job in an organization. It is a systematic process of determining the worth of one job in relation to another job. In job evaluation, the relative worth of various jobs are assessed so that wages can be paid depending upon the worth of the job. To secure job data information is necessary in job analysis. So, for this purpose, job description and job specification were taken. In job description, duties, responsibilities are ascertained, and in job specification, qualities and qualification needed for the job are described. The next thing is job rating is done, where job description and specification, both on the basis of predetermined plan, are studied. The study reveals a relative score. Then comes the question of money allocation. While allocating money to the job, employee classification is undertaken, and employees are classified under right job title based upon work contents actually performed. Management method to achieve equity is pay or in pay is job evaluation. It is the cornerstone of formal wage and salary program. So, job evaluation is a systematic process of determining the worth of the job. The objective of job evaluation is to determine which job should get more pay than others. Several methods such as job ranking, job grading, and factor comparison are methods which are employed in job evaluation. Research indicates that, however, that each method is nearly as accurate and reliable as the other in ranking and pricing different jobs. Job evaluation forms the basis for wage and salary negotiation. Job evaluation, according to Kimball and Kimball, is an effort to determine the relative value of every job in a plan to determine what the fair basic wage for such a job should be. The focus of job evaluation is typically on the duties and responsibilities assigned to a job, not on the credentials or characteristics of the person who occupies the job, nor the quality or quantity of the incumbent's performance. Traditional job evaluation is described as an objective fact finding scientific approach that seeks to measure and quantify the relative complexity, the degree of responsibility, the outcome for hierarchy of jobs, or a top down list ranked in order are few ways of finding the relative worth. This is how job evaluation is described. So there are few criteria that has to be met for job design, job evaluation. If for evaluating each job, these are the following criteria to be basic rules to be followed. The current position is evaluated without being influenced by what the job is likely to be in the future or what it may have been in the past. The position is evaluated and not the job holder. The assessment of each factor is based on the job being performed competently. The assessment of the job holder's own performance against the standard required is a quite separate exercise which is outside the scope of job evaluation rating. The position is evaluated and not the job holder. This should be kept in mind. And the current position of the job is evaluated, not considering what are the factors which might affect in the past or in the future. So, job evaluation, according to International Labour Organization, is nothing but job evaluation may be defined as an attempt to determine and compare the demands which the normal performance of particular job makes on normal workers without taking account of the individual abilities or performance of the workers concerned. According to a famous industrial psychologist, Dale Yoder, who has done a lot of work in organization behavior, he says that job evaluation is a practice which seeks to provide a degree of objectivity in measuring the comparative value of jobs within an organization and among similar organizations. So, job evaluation main features are: it's a method, is a systematic approach, it is an analysis of the work involved in its starting point. It is an attempt to determine the requirements of the work involved for any job incumbent. It's a process by which jobs in an industrial setup or an organization or a factory are appraised. It's a process of analyzing and describing and also grouping and determining the relative value of the job by comparing the duties of different positions in terms of their different responsibilities and other requirements. It's a system to deal exclusively with assessment of the job and not concerned with employees assigned to the job. It is designed only to establish wage differentials and is not concerned with the absolute wage level. So these are few features, but there are few objectives also, like to secure and maintain complete, accurate description of the job, to provide a standard procedure to find out the relative worth or value of the job, to determine the rate of pay, to ensure that like wages are paid to all same type of wages are paid to qualified employees, to promote fair and accurate consideration, to provide a factual basis for consideration of wage rates, to provide information for the work organization. So, this is how job evaluation objectives are. Now, job evaluation process. First one is gaining acceptance. Second one, creating a job evaluation committee, finding the jobs to be evaluated, analyzing and preparing a job description, selecting the method of evaluation, and classifying the job. So therefore here the main important thing is job analysis. You should analyze the job, which job has to be evaluated. It could be many jobs, so you have to select the job which has to be evaluated. Next one is finding the jobs, the analyzing and preparing a job description. Documentation is the of recording job content information in the form of job description is one of the important products of job analysis. Most job description of duties, examples of work typically performed in the statement, identifying the knowledge, abilities, and skills and characteristics that are required to satisfactorily perform the duties. The ideal job description for compensation reflects not just information but what, how, and why. Then next one is selecting the method. As there are various methods in job evaluation like ranking method, point factor method, classification method, and factor comparison method. Any of these methods can be used to evaluate the job. And the last one is classifying the job. Classifying the job into the various categories of job that you already have in your organizational setup. Or else you can actually start a new method where the job can be actually placed. Like in government jobs and all, there are a few classes. Okay, so based on that it will be divided. It's a logic job evaluation is a logical process and objective technique helps in developing an equitable and consistent wage and salary structure. But there are few disadvantages like human error and subjective judgment may creep in, and variation may be there with the wages fixed and the market forces. And if job evaluation is applied for the first time, it creates doubts in the minds of workers, and maybe sometimes it lacks scientific basis of confirmation. Maybe it's a time consuming process, and sometimes it will be not suitable for establishing the relative worth, but if found it will not be appropriate. If the job is very dynamic, it changes very often, then job evaluation will not be helpful. Sometimes job evaluation leads to frequent and substantial changes in wage and salary structures, creating a financial burden. But okay, with this we finish our next class. We will do job evaluation methods. So therefore, today we have done approaches to job design, techniques to job design, factors affecting job design, job evaluation criteria, and job evaluation process. In the next class, we will discuss about the various methods of job evaluation, factors, and workplace arrangement. So with this, we finish our second part of fifth unit.